Welcome back to He's on Fire podcast. Your Arizona Cardinals are 6-0. I never thought I'd see the day. And if anybody's been a fan since the Sun Devil Stadium days, you'll know exactly what I mean. We also have a really big and exciting announcement coming up. So I can't wait to share that news with you. Deep dive on the Suns and getting Mikal Bridges signed, a little USMT, MNT, attorney talk, and we're just going to get into everything. Go.
Ertz sets, looks up, and it is caught! Down strong! Blitz coming, Matthews, Palmer extending the play, crosses the field, Larry Fitzgerald! There he scores, it's over! It's insane! To the 4-yard line! Crowder looking, throws it, alley-oop! Oh! He puts it down! He puts it down! They're getting a little wobbly, but it's downfield, shots out of you! A foot race! They won't get it! Center field! The Diamondbacks are world champions!
Welcome. 6-0. As I said, there is no better feeling right now than be talked as a Super Bowl contending type of team, right? That's the whole goal, is you want to get to that at some point. But we're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about it all right now with my man, Jay. How's it going, man?
Doing all right. How's everybody doing? How we feeling?
We're feeling good. Amit, are you good? I know it was a tiring week for you, but
it's a tiring week. But dude, this with the Mercury losing, I know ASU lost, which hurt you guys. This saved the weekend, right? This saved the weekend for sure. Because we all thought we were going to lose this game.
No, Jay didn't.
Jay didn't think that, but
Jay did not. Jay, before we make our big announcement, tell us why you thought we were going to win.
Oh, man. So there's so many layers to my thought process with this game. Day after day throughout this week was injury report, then another COVID positive injury report, COVID. So by like a couple hours before the game, Peters got doxxed for COVID. Yeah. So I was all like, God damn it, right? So this game could have been more even because the Browns were missing a good amount of their main contributors, and then we were too, more on the defensive end than anything. Then minus Cliff. So like my score prediction was 28-14. I was rolling with it, and I was right about the 14 part. But Arizona went hard.
We would have taken 28-14 also.
Yeah, this game was unexpected from the jump. There's so Marcus Golden said in his post-game thing, everybody got a ball. So
yeah,
well deserved for everybody. And let's get into the announcement, and then we'll talk about the game. So
everybody, we have a big announcement. I want to give a big shout out to ASAP Network, or ASAP Network, All Sports All Play Network. You can find them on Twitter, obviously, asapsportsnetwork.com. They are a podcast network, just putting together a bunch of podcasts like us to be on one big network to broadcast it to as many viewers as possible. I believe they're going to be even on Sling TV, if I'm not mistaken, and that deal is already done and should be up and running soon. So we will be on live television as well, too. We're going to be on our Sunday nights and our Wednesday night slots, and they have chosen us and He's on Fire podcast to come aboard, and it's going to be really exciting to get as many people as we can. So, I mean, how about one of these?
He's on fire!
To our own podcast. It's really going to open the doors for us as well, too, to not only get viewerships and viewers over to YouTube as well. We're going to hear it more on Anchor and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. We're going to get their little logo up on here, too. It's going to be branded a little bit differently. It's still going to be He's on Fire podcast. Still going to bring you as much content as we can, obviously. But it's really exciting, and hopefully with the cast of shows that they have on there, we can do a lot of collaboration as well too. I think it's going to open up for everybody. So hopefully everybody here can go on different shows, and I'm on their chat right now. And the very first thing they asked me, like everybody asked me right when I got in their chat, who's your team? The Phoenix Suns. And it was a Lakers guy. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. You're a Lakers fan. I can't wait. But on Wednesday is going to be our very, very first show on ASAP Network, and we're going to be joined by Jay Ness. He is one of the creators, architects, finders of talent, basically, and he's scouring everything to find talent. He's going to be joining us post-game for the Nuggets and Suns opening night podcast for us, I guess. We're going to do a post-game pod. We're not going to go on 9:30 like we usually do. We're going to come on post-game for about an hour and a half. Jay Ness is going to join us from ASAP Network. He's going to go through everything with us as well, too. Talk to Phoenix Suns, because he's a Phoenix Suns fan as well, which is probably why he looked at us. You know what I mean? Because he's a Cardinals, Suns, all that. So congrats, and thanks for embarrassing the Browns and help out my Ravens. Hey, thanks, Romp. We appreciate you tuning in, dude. Hopefully we can get you on here, too, and get you more exposure. So thank you, everybody. It's already said congrats. Iverson Vlogs, Romp, Roy, JV. Appreciate you guys coming in. We really do. But can we give a shout out to Vance Joseph?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Everybody, give it up for Vance Joseph. Incredible what he did, dude. Incredible. I mean, yeah, he had a couple days to plan for it. It's not like he woke up this morning and boom, it was there. He does have head coaching experience. I've been in that position. And before, like, when everything went down, I'm just like, there's no way we're going to win. Let's forfeit this game. I don't want any more injuries. We're going to lose this game, right? No. But then I woke up this morning and I started thinking about my own coaching past history, what have you. And there was one game I knew I was going to be the head coach for. And let me tell you, you guys, I was laser focused. That, 8-minute quarters in high school, that 8, 16, 32 minutes, that 32-minute game felt like 17 hours to me. You know what I mean? Because you were just laser focused there. And I think you saw that from the beginning. It felt like everybody was just dialed up a notch. Did you guys see that? Amit, did you see that at all today?
They definitely were dialed up. Kyler does this thing where this season he has this trend of either he's really fearless or he's really careless. And he had a tendency in this game to be careless with the ball. He dropped a couple snaps. You could blame the center, but they were shotgunned. I mean, he should be able to catch that. Then there was that scramble play where he tried to get out, and then the ball like hit him on the hip, and then he fumbled it. He recovered it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a couple times on where he just didn't read the pass rush right, and he did that little move, that spin move that I've been talking about, where it just gets him in trouble, and we end up with like a 10-yard loss. He did that twice and got buried on it. And then there was another play where I don't know if it was like a designed run. I don't know if you guys remember it, early third quarter. I don't know if it was a designed run or if he just called his own number, but he started to go out
and he got a first down out of it, but it looked weird.
No. I'm not talking about that one. There was another play where he got buried behind the line. He tried to go out or he tried to run up the middle. It got blocked. And then he's like, I'm still going. And he tried to go around.
Oh, and he like backpedaled. And
that one.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, that one. So yeah, everybody was focused. Kyler played pretty good, regardless of, I'm just nitpicking at this point because that's all we can do when the team is 6-0. But yeah, I mean, D-Hop,
what can you say about D-Hop, dude?
Fucking go.
That was an insane touchdown, you guys. Yeah. That first touchdown, splitting those two dudes and then just falling in the end zone.
He had no business scoring that.
No,
that was so sloppy.
He didn't. I've never seen anything like that before.
No, that was absolutely incredible. But Kyler Murray, it just feels like the last 2 weeks, he's okay. I said he played mediocre half of the game, and I think half of the game he just wasn't there. Are you guys, Jay, are you seeing that as well too, where it's like there's times where he's just pinpoint on and maybe it's too easy for him, and then other times he's just so fucking whimsical. I don't even know how to put it. He's just kind of whatever with it, right, Jay?
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent. Definitely at the end of the second quarter and early third quarter. I don't think he was like necessarily all there. I think it was more him putting his guard down, because once he did that, Clowney was there and Myles Garrett was there. So I think he was getting a little too comfortable. Yeah. And I think he sort of kind of forgot everybody that were sort of missing, especially Rodney Hudson not being in the middle. So
shout out to Max Garcia.
Yeah. I mean, like Max Garcia got saved with that Christian Kirk touchdown, like right after that just random snap that hit Kyler in the shoulder.
That's true.
But like Kyler composed himself like how any NFL QB should. He snapped right back into it, and then it was the game was over by the 8-minute mark in the third quarter. So like I give Kyler like a B+, like he for that from the 3 minutes left in the second to early third, like I was getting really irritated. Like he clicked back into like, all right, it's time to get serious. It's like it's a 9-point game. Let's just close it out. And he did that in a very fashionable way. So I appreciate that. But Kyler is doing whatever he can, and like it's just great having all these weapons. And we're gonna get into the Zach Ertz stuff a little later. But like I'm completely sold on this team now. I have my doubts, but like I'm riding high right now. So
yeah. I'll say one thing. I think when we went into this game thinking we were picking the Browns, we forgot that they were the Browns. I think that's what it was. That we're
it was before we found out Nick Chubb was going to be out too.
But even if Nick Chubb was there, right? Like we're talking about perpetual ultimate poverty franchise at this point. Like they can't get their shit together.
Not wrong.
They can't get their shit together. Like even when they made the playoffs last year, now they're 3-3. You know, with momentum, and they have OBJ back and all that, and it's just like, and then the injuries and that injury to Baker Mayfield looked pretty bad. I'm surprised he was able to finish the game, but it was like the way his arm was bent back, like I was for sure he separated his shoulder, right?
Yeah. That was his exact shoulder that he injured in the previous game. So it was the same exact way he fucked it up the last game. So
yeah. So I mean, all that, and the only thing I'll say after all that is, JJ Watt is getting a little cocky, considering that was his first sack.
Yeah, he's feeling good.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anybody allowed to, it might be him, right?
Yeah. But there's karma with that stuff. That's all I'm going to say.
True. We rounded out the day with 6 sacks, you guys. Zaven Collins, Devon Kennard each had 1. Marcus Golden had 1. Jordan Hicks had 2. Jordan Hicks was everywhere. Talk about a guy where we thought was going to fall off to Zaven Collins, and he's just every game elevated himself. Just very, very impressive by him. Rondale Moore had a decent game. He did what he needed to do, but Robert Alford is what I was going to say.
Yep.
Robert Alford getting his first interception since 2017. Like,
he's fucking fast, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Once he caught that, he was gone.
Yeah.
Bravo to him. Listen to this receiving stats, you guys. I mean, first off, I can talk all the shit I want on Kyler Murray about how he's playing lackadaisical. I mean, dude threw 4 touchdowns today.
Yep.
So shout out to that. But check this out. AJ Green, 5 receptions, 79 yards. Christian Kirk, 5 receptions, 75 yards. And then D-Hop, 3 for 55. But 2 of those were for TDs.
Mm-hmm.
That just the way that they can spread it around has been incredible. And it's not like we threw a bunch either. We only threw for 208 yards, and we had 144 yards rushing.
James Conner, man. The
James Conner.
16 for 71. Chase Edmonds, 4.
How many do you think? I don't know if it's there, but I'm pretty sure like James Conner must have had like 60 yards after contact. Like he was dragging people over the first down line.
I'm gonna try to find some advanced stats. If anybody in the chat happens to know that, or have a good site for this. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. He would hit and go 3, 4, 5 yards. Like that's why I came on here and I said I think he's just a better fit for a full-time back position as opposed to Chase Edmonds. It's for stuff like this.
Yeah, because Chase Edmonds one of those guys that he'll give you like one of those fantasy games where you're like, oh my god. And you'll see the highlights, and then he has duds like this. Like
he did have that 40-yard run to start the game, but that was about it.
Right, but yeah. But the rest of it is just those other carries, and I don't know if it's maybe those plays were designed for like Connor, and he's running in the position, but like they're just not. And even some of the screen passes that they ran, like it didn't work with him in this game.
Yeah.
And it didn't work with Rondale Moore. I feel like they were really targeting those plays, Cleveland on defense, to try to take that away from us.
But then Christian Kirk hasn't gone off the last few times, and so now you leave him open.
Yep.
And then AJ Green was able to feast towards the end and really shut the game down. And we're gonna get Zach Ertz.
Yep.
I want to talk about this one play in particular, the Edmonds run for 45, 50, whatever, how many yards it was.
40, yeah.
If you go back to that play, like Kyler recognized that defense like 2 or 3 times after they shifted, audibled, and sent motion to AJ and Kirk on one side, and then had Edmonds set up on the other side. And then all the blockers just made a perfect fucking seam for Edmonds. It was a beautiful play. I rewinded it about like 2 or 3 times. like Kyler is becoming like vet minded. Like he's seeing these things before they transpire. And what the Browns tried to do, I don't know what their defensive plan was. They just had free safeties in the back, just hoping to God that Kyler threw it deep. But it was a short game, like all game, and they never made adjustments. So this is more on the Browns like fault than Arizona winning, because like their defensive schemes were off all game. So
it just speaks to them being able to win games in different ways.
Yeah.
No head coach, no quarterback coach, no Chandler Jones, obviously no Zach Ertz or Max Williams. You lose Corey Peters, then we're already thin on the D line. So what happens? Jordan Phillips gets activated, plays damn near the whole game. Our secondary, who didn't play last week, comes back. Byron Murphy nearly gets 2 interceptions today. Yeah. And Marco Wilson got targeted like to a point, but I thought he held his own very well. And then Robert Alford comes up with the interception. And Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson are just so goddamn solid back there.
Yeah.
They are so solid.
I just want to make a comment on Alford, because my whole thing with that guy is that he's like glass man, like Anthony Davis. Because anytime he makes a tackle, you're worried. But do you guys remember that 4th and 4, I think it was, at the goal line, where he stood up and laid him out?
Yeah.
And even if he caught that, even if whoever was that caught that ball, it still wouldn't have been a first down. So I got to give him props, man. That guy really showed out today.
And he was our biggest question mark, and the biggest question mark that we had on our team.
Yeah.
Real quick, some breaking news just went down that we have to share. I don't know if you guys have been watching any of the baseball playoffs coming up. Braves and the Doyers, bottom of the 9th. This is just a Twitter feed, so it's not the best of everything, but watch this.
Please tell me the Dodgers lost. Please.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Oh,
we go.
Bummer.
Braves.
Let's just watch that one more time.
Oh, man.
Oh, he should have had it.
Man. That's tough.
There's something about walk-offs, though.
Yeah.
In baseball, right? On the playoffs. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, walk-offs are probably the best feeling.
You love to see it.
That's awesome.
Anyways, yeah, the Red Sox and Astros are 1-1, and now I think the Braves and Dodgers are 1-1. So a good couple championship series. Going back, I don't even know where else to really go with this game other than just I have a lot of broad questions I kind of want to ask you guys. Can we just go there? Is that cool?
Let's do it.
Yeah, totally.
There it is. Amit, let's start with you. Is this the Arizona Cardinals as a franchise best team?
So I always go back to that 2015 team and like the what ifs. What if Carson Palmer stays healthy? What happens
Aaron
with
Matthew?
I mean, if you're talking about coaching, like who would you rather have, Bruce Arians or Kingsbury? Right?
Bruce. Yeah.
So, and his staff, was Bowles still there in 2015?
No, Bowles was gone.
Was
I honestly,
or was Betcher at that time?
Byron Leftwich was the QB coach at that time.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember who the defensive coordinator is. I'll go look it up.
Yeah, I think it was Betcher if it wasn't Bulls. But I just think that team had some bad luck. I still think that 2015 was better.
You're right, James Betcher.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this team is solid, and they're the best team in the NFL right now. Like the way that they win, because the difference between that 2015 team and this team is this team has 4-0 on the road, and I think their average spread is like 12 points on the road. So I remember that other team was more clutch, meaning they just kind of pulled things out. Like they went in different ways, but it was all sort of like kind of, there was different schematic.
Typical Cardinals stuff where we'd have to pull it out in the end, and we could never win comfortably.
Yeah, exactly. Where this team just blows people out, and it's just unexpectedly just blowing people out. Like at this point, when you're past the week 4 in the season, we know what teams are. And now we know that this defense, when it comes to goal line, with the speed that they have and the physicality that they have, it's going to be really tough to convert on 4th and short on this team. Any 4th down, but 4th and short, they've already proven that the last 2 weeks. I think it's 9 times now? They've stopped
we lead the league right now.
Yeah. So I mean that's a huge stat, because that's typically now, like the analytics is saying you got to go for it on 4th down, right? And we're stopping
against us.
Nope, not working. And these guys are just getting better. Like Collins is getting better. We're seeing that now progressively every week. He's getting better. Simmons is getting better. The fact that I didn't hear the announcer say Budda Baker at all this game tells me that everybody else took care of everything that they needed to do, because usually he's there cleaning things up.
Yeah. But Jalen Thompson's taking that role too, dude.
Yeah.
He's really every game he's doing something impressive by me. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and that's it. I mean, like Jordan Hicks. I mean, we're seeing it. We didn't have Lawrence, and we still got
we didn't have Zach Allen either. I forgot that one.
And we didn't have Zach Allen, and there's depth. The offensive pieces fit so perfectly together, and when we get Ertz, it's going to be a whole nother thing that we're going to see how that works out, because I think he's better than Max Williams, right? I mean, he was like
receiving
a top 4.
wise, absolutely.
Yeah, he was like a top 4 tight end at one point, not too long ago, on a championship team. So, it's all lining up. Like we'll see. Like in week 6, I still got to go with 2015, but let's see how the season plays out.
Jay, I want to pose the same question to you, but real quick, JV has a great point. I think this Cards team is better than 2015. K1 is better than Carson, which is his biggest reason of why he thinks this team is better. I think that's a very, very legitimate reason. Yeah. I think this defense is better too. Crazy to think, because that was prime Patrick Peterson time. Yeah. But the thing about having Patrick Peterson and not throwing to that side of the field is that it helped that side, but I feel like it didn't help anything else. You know what I mean? Like the other side of the field, through the middle, going deep, the run game, like he only contributed like that much, just considering they didn't throw to his side of the field. You know what I mean? It was just kind of circumstantial that everybody else will get lit up, but everybody else did get lit up. Jay, is this the best Arizona Cardinals team that we've had? I'm saying Arizona.
Just Arizona in general.
Arizona in general, since they've come to the Valley.
Yeah. Like I really liked the 2015 team. I was real comfortable with Carson being a QB1. He never made stupid decisions. He's a cardboard cutout of what you think a QB should be.
6'6", rifle arm.
6'6". Yeah, he has a cannon for an arm, and like you can rely on him. But the way the NFL is going, you need versatile guys throwing the ball for you. Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Herbert, Kyler. These are the guys that are pushing a new cutout of what QBs should be now. And the defense back in 2015, like our defense was pretty solid then, but what we have now is like night and day. Like Zach Allen is just a baby JJ Watt. That's no disrespect. He's fucking cold. Then JJ Watt, like he got his first sack today and it was a fumble. But he's been all all over. Then we have Hicks that's been balling out since game one. Then Marcus Golden, like, he was fucking everywhere today. Like, I don't know how many tackles he had, but he had to have like at least like 9. Like, he was everywhere. And like this team from top to bottom is stacked. And 2015, it was a really good run, but it's hard to compare these two because I think overall Kyler is a better QB. I think we have a better receiving core. We're not depending on Larry or Anquan Bolden back in 2008. Like we just have so many weapons now, and it's so hard to defend everything that's going on. And now with the addition to Zach Ertz, like who's really going to stop us on the offensive end? You know,
I mean, that's been kind of the question from the beginning, to be honest. Just to answer your question, I just had it. Marcus Golden had 5 total tackles, 4 solo, 2 sacks, 1 for loss, and 2 additional QB hits. So he was very active. I think the main difference between this team and that team is the run game. Don't ever forget how dynamic David Johnson was in 2015, and then Chris Johnson right behind him. That 1-2 punch was killer.
Yeah.
Killer. But remember the playoff game against the Packers, how we gave up like 40+ points too? Yeah. I don't know if our defense will give up 40 points this year. I'm sure they'll give up 30 at some point, but we're going to find out in 2 games against the Packers. We got the Texans next week and then the Packers on a short week on Thursday night. So
did you guys see the spread for this game?
17.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all watch PHNX or anything that goes on there. Really good content, especially with the Cardinals and Johnny Venerable. But he was saying that he could see this game being one of those, since our bye week isn't until like after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
This is going to be a week where they kind of sub in some players, sub out some players. A player or two might take a break, but JJ Watt and DeAndre Hopkins ain't taking a break. They're going to go up against their old team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. I think this is the best team from a talent standpoint, from a straight up roster to roster, equal all the way down. This is by far better. I mean, the offensive line is better. The defensive line is better. The defensive backs and safeties are better. Receiving core as a whole is better. Who do we have? John Brown was our third option, I'll take Christian Kirk, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he was that Smoke Brown. Like, he was different back then. Like,
yeah.
He had shades.
Smoky.
I remember where we were like, this guy might be like the next Marvin Harrison. And then he just kept getting hurt. You know what I mean? And he had to fall out, and then, he bounced around. But that was his prime. Like, he was prime that year. Like, he was.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Prime. But I'll still take Christian Kirk right now.
He did have that one drop.
Would you take Christian Kirk now or 2015 John Brown?
This year, Christian Kirk is elite. The one we had the 2 years prior, he was good, but he was like a number 3, number 4 receiver.
Yeah, playing against the number 3 or number 4 defensive back, mind you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So who'd you take?
I'll take Christian Kirk. I'll take this year's Christian Kirk.
I'll take this year's Kirk.
There you have it. Roy has a good question. Is Cliff Kingsbury still your guys' head coach? I mean,
by default, yeah.
We don't have a choice, man.
Yeah.
And if he gets us into the playoffs, gets us far, and God willing gives us a championship, I'll get a tattoo on my ass of Cliff Kingsbury.
I just want to add something.
Please, nobody remember that, by the way. Yeah, Jay.
So to go back to the 2015 Cardinals, like, we weren't even a top 5 team statistically that year. It was Carolina, Broncos, Green Bay, and then I forget,
probably the Patriots,
the other one, and probably the Patriots. Yeah. So that season, we had a relatively good season. It got us to the NFC Championship. Don't get me wrong, but like we're stacked. So I'll take this year's team over the 2015 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, dude, we're more dominant. I feel
I
like
don't remember.
I feel like Derrick Henry would have ran over that team back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what prompted signing Corey Peters and stuff too, you know what I mean? And trying to get bigger on the D-line was just not having a defensive line presence. And then we traded for Chandler Jones and then. But this is about the 2021 Arizona Cardinals. And Jesus, man, I am so excited. Like, what is this team going to be like right now, adding Chandler Jones, adding back Rodney Hudson, adding Zach Ertz? Like, now I'm really drinking the Kool-Aid and I want to tap the brakes even more now because I never expected to go 6-0. The loss is obviously going to happen, but is it going to be next week? Like, is this a legitimate trap game going into a Thursday night game?
Yes, 100%. It's a trap game because, like you said, we're going to a Thursday night. Not only that, like, obviously we have some injuries and some people that need to rest. 17-point spread, like, it's easy to just like discount that and just like as you said, Kyler, kind of being a space cadet for a while, that can happen again, and that can lead to some fumbles or some injuries or things that could impact us. So I'm worried about this game. I definitely don't think they're going to cover if they win, but we got to be careful with this game, and it's at home where you feel extra comfortable. You know what I mean? So it's one of those games where you just got to be focused for enough of the game to win it, because their quarterback is garbage. Their quarterback is garbage.
Point. What do you think, Jay? Trap game against the Texans, considering they're only 1-5?
This is definitely a trap game, and because the Texans have almost beat a couple teams this year, and it's come down to the last like 2-3 drives. So like this is definitely a trap game, but like I'm pretty sure we'll win. That's all I can really say to that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure too. I mean, it depends on who you rest. Let's see what happens with COVID and see if we get any more outbreaks. Apparently, the whole team is vaccinated, and they're getting a few outbreaks. So hopefully that'll be limited, and the symptoms aren't going to be as crazy, and Chandler Jones won't come back completely out of shape or something like that. It is right before a Thursday night game, but it's also the NFL, you guys. Yeah. You know, those are professionals on the other side too. You don't think David Johnson wants to come in and go for 120 and 2 TDs? You know, things can happen. And it looks like Jay is freezing out just a little bit. So we're just going to drop him for just a quick second until he gives me the thumbs up. I don't even see him there. He's just frozen solid.
And Houston has a run game too, not just David Johnson. He only had 2 carries today, but they have Mark Ingram,
Patrick Lindsey.
Yeah, Lindsey. I love that guy, the way he runs. But they have a running game. So, and they're going to need to rely on it because their quarterback really can't do much. And he's basically just focused on Brandon Cook, or not Brandon Cooks, their tight end. What's his name? I can't remember their tight end name, but he basically just targets a tight end. So,
real quick. Big NFC West implications, by the way. The Pittsburgh Steelers in overtime pull out a win over the Seattle Seahawks, by the way. So that puts Seattle at 2-4. And I told my wife this during the game. We're both in the same fantasy football league. We had a lot of implications on this game. I said that if Seattle goes 2-4, I don't know if they can even come back to get into the playoffs right now, because you're talking to have to go at least 11-5, or no, that doesn't add up. 12-5, 11-6, right? Like probably minimum 11-6 to get one of the playoff spots. Maybe
no, I think with the
10-7.
I think with the extra wild card, I think you can get in with 10-7 with the extra wild card spot.
I could see that.
Yeah. But they're not going to get there because they didn't have Russell Wilson tonight, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, he's gone for a few weeks. So they can't win without him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they almost did tonight. They took it.
Yeah, but they played the Steelers, dude, and that was a joke to me because I saw the line. It was -4.5, and I'm like, that's what they're giving the Steelers. But I don't know if anybody's watched Ben Roethlisberger this season, but it's like he's done, man. He's done.
Yeah, he's done.
So they play the Saints next at home. That's looks like either Sunday night or that's Sunday Night Football against the Saints. I could see that going either way, to be honest with you, or LASIK Jameis going for 5 TDs. And then they play the Jaguars after that, and then a bye week, and then you might expect Russell Wilson back at that point against the Packers. That'll be a tough one since it's at the Packers. But Saints and Jags are their next two opponents. They could win against the Jags. I could see them winning against the Saints. They almost pulled it out against the Steelers.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to probably flex that game. There's no way nobody wants to see that Saints-Seahawks game on Sunday night. They're going to flex out and put something on. Can they do that this early in the season? I don't know if they
that was towards the end, but
yeah, they may not be able to do it yet. But if they could, they would flex out of that game.
You definitely could be right. But man, just a wild week in the NFL. I surely enjoyed waking up and being able to watch that as I was sick. I want to get into the rest of the. Oh, I have actually one more question. I want to start with you. One more question. We'll go to our sponsor. I want to go around the NFL, talk about next week's schedule, and we need to talk about Mikal Bridges at $90 million for 4 years. What a steal. I have some thoughts on that as well, too. But Amit, ask this question to you first, my friend. Is this Arizona Cardinals defense the best in the NFL?
That's a good question. Because I think in terms of talent, this is definitely the best team in terms of talent. I think depth, positionally, they've got the best talent. I don't know if it's statistically, it's probably not the best. But like if from the eye test, if you saw them versus if you saw the Tennessee game and you saw this game and you saw that, I mean, you're talking about like, if you saw Chandler Jones get 5 sacks in one game and he doesn't get one the rest of the season so far, and JJ Watt doesn't get his first sack until the 6th game, and this defense held the Niners at 10 points, they've held everybody to pretty much like under their average. It probably is the best defense in the NFL. It definitely passes the eye test.
I think JV has a good point. I do think Chicago's defense is up there. I do think San Francisco's defense is also up there. Can't ever count out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. I just really feel like this is the bias of me coming. I feel like it's a more opportunistic defense, and I think our secondary is better than anybody else's. I really, really do, which is crazy to think. Jay, just cancel the camera tonight, bro. Right. It ain't working. Go ahead and upload a picture. It ain't working for you tonight. Well, it's only 6 weeks in. The only thing that a 6-0 record gives you or promises you is a 6-11 season right now at this point. So we'll really find out who the good defenses are when we get to November. But Bears defense is up there. Tampa's defense is up there. San Fran's defense is up there. Baltimore's not up there. Pittsburgh's not up there. I'm trying to think if there's an AFC defense that would rival us right now. Maybe the Bills, but they've been giving up a lot of points too.
And the Bucs give up a lot of points too. Like the Bucs,
they really do. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Bears not so much, but at the same time, the Bears are really learning about their quarterback right now. And one thing that's going to kill a defense is not being able to get first downs. And so with a rookie quarterback giving it up whenever, I think that's going to hurt overall for this year on the Bears defense, but I think moving forward, they're just going to get better and better.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. So real quick, we're just going to go to a quick word from our sponsors right now. We're going to have multiple sponsors. How cool is that on a brand new podcast? And then we'll be back with a few other things. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's easy. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Anchor.fm. Go get started there. And I think Jay, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. So he's here ready to go. I love it. So real quick, I just want to share my screen. Whoa, share video file, share screen. Here we go. Let's look at some NFL scores, you guys. Thank you, ESPN.com. So the Bucs pull away from the Eagles on Thursday night. That game was honestly a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
This morning we got to wake up to some Jaguar and Dolphin football, and good for the Jags getting a dub today. Those two kicks just bending out and then curving in at the last minute. That was awesome. And then here we go. Packers and Bears. The Bears are now 3-3. Whoop, got to go back down. Bears are 3-3. The Packers, after that week 1 loss, are looking mighty dominant. Bengals and Lions. Poor Lions. I have a lot of Lions friends, and I don't. The Lions are probably the worst franchise with the best fans.
They're ultimate poverty franchise.
In all of professional sports in America.
Yeah.
By far, nobody else even equates to it. So, but their fans, man, they show up every single year. They buy the new gear. They support. But Bengals 34-11, 4-2. Joe Burrow getting it done up there. Joe Mixon, 18 carries, 94 yards. He had a reception touchdown. Jamar Chase, 97 yards and 4 receptions. Like, they're getting it done, y'all. They are getting it done. This is why I don't know if it can be a trap game. Look at that, dude. 31-3. Let's open up the box score real quick and see if we can do a little more in-depth diving here. They threw it for 43 times. Like, I can't wait to have it thrown on us 43 times. Are you kidding me? As much as you can, please. Mark Ingram, 18 carries for 73. Phillip Lindsay had a really costly fumble too. 39 yards. David Johnson, 2 for 7.
Pathetic.
2 for 7. And Brandon Cooks, and was it Nico Collins that you were thinking of?
Yeah, that's who it was.
I mean, they definitely passed the ball around, but to Rex Burkhead, to Ingram, there's a David Johnson. A lot of this is out of the backfield too, which means they're checking down a lot.
Yep. This guy can't make throws, man. If you've seen him play, he cannot make throws.
So Carson Wentz had a good day, 223, 2 TDs. Jonathan Taylor went off 145 and 2 touchdowns. Man, if we can win this game with Chase Edmonds and James Conner running, like, please, we don't need to do a lot of trickeration. Let's get Zach Ertz's feet wet a little bit, and let's just end the game on the ground. Let's just do that. And Marlon Mack coming back. Dude, Marlon Mack was so good. I don't know if anybody realizes how good Marlon Mack was until he got hurt last year. I loved Marlon Mack. Going through the rest. Here's some NFC West implications. The Rams slaughtered the Giants 38-11 behind Matthew Stafford's 4 TDs. So here we go. They're 5-1, right on our tail. Chiefs 31-13 over Washington. Everybody kind of saw that coming. The Vikings winning in overtime. Now, I think we all came on the podcast. We're like, I'm surprised they're 1-3. And here they are winning 2 games in a row. So they're the Vikings. Then I'm going to go into the standings after this. Ravens dismantle the Chargers.
That was surprising.
That was surprising. Talk about fake, huh? Are the Chargers fake?
No, man.
It was just a bad game.
I think it was a bad game. It just when you watch Herbert, Haybear, whatever you want to call him, that guy looks like Dan Marino, bro. Like, he looks like Dan Marino when he's back there. He just flings it around. He just gets it in the spots. He makes space. He's kind of a mix of maybe he's John Elway more than he's Dan Marino because he can move around more. But he's just so good. So good.
No, I do like him. He might not be fake, but the Chargers as a whole and their lack of run defense, I heard that they were dead last in run defense. Can't do that. Let's see. Raiders beating the Broncos 34-24. Broncos were 3-0, 3-3. There you have it. Same with the Raiders. Raiders were 3-0, but now they're 4-2. It's good to get that win after John Gruden got fired after being such a douchebag tool that he was. So it's good that he got outed.
I told you.
Seriously, that's good juju for getting rid of a person like that. Yeah. And then the Cowboys win in overtime over the Patriots. You'd love to see it, but the Cowboys are 5-1. And then we just found out the Steelers beating the Seahawks. So let's go to the standings. And clearly it is all about the Cardinals, the Bucks, the Packers, the Cowboys. Those are your top 4 teams in the NFC.
Can we talk about the Cowboys real quick?
Do we have to? You can make a comment, but let's make it quick with the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's a quick comment. Okay, so I get Diggs is really good. He's having a career year, but he's not. Yeah, he's not the real Revis. Okay. I'm seeing comparisons all over Twitter and Instagram. He's not Revis Island, okay?
No.
The Cowboys are going against shitty-ass offenses.
Yeah.
That is all.
The Cowboys have this thing where it's like the Lakers and the Cowboys and the Knicks and the Yankees where when they're good, they're supposedly like better, but it's actually you have to kind of like dial it back by like 2 notches and be like, they're actually not as good as everyone thinks they are. They're just the Cowboys and they're on TV and people think they're good. They're better than they are, but they're not that good.
Dak is good.
Dak is very good.
Dak is very good. I like the Cowboys are looking really good this year, a lot better than they have the last like 6-7 years. But I just want to pump the brakes on Diggs. He's having a career year, but he's not Darrelle Revis. He's not Sanders. Okay.
I mean, let's see what happens when you go against Hop.
Yeah, exactly. I want
Can
to
you
see
Jalen Ramsey him to 3 for 38?
Because all I'm seeing from D Hop is either PI or he catches it. So I want to see. So
facts. So it's very clear who the good teams are. I mean, your top 5 are the Cowboys, Packers, Bucks, Cardinals, Rams, right? So those are your 5. You got 2 more teams that you're going to bring in. I would have swore it would have been 2 teams out of the NFC West. I would have given my left leg and said it would be one of the Niners or the Seahawks. Niners are 2-3. Seahawks are 2-4. Both teams fighting injuries. You got the Saints sitting there at 3-2. And then maybe Minnesota, maybe Chicago. I don't think it's coming out of the NFC East. That's for sure. As much as I want Washington to get a spot, it's not going to be them. Amit, what do you think?
I think the Eagles can pull it together a little bit.
What?
I think they can.
Rejected.
What's their record? Aren't they 3-2? What's their record?
They're 2-4.
2-4. Well, I still think they can. I still that division. So I don't think they've played Washington or the Giants yet. I can't remember, but that's 4 winnable games right there. And let's see.
Yeah, they beat the Falcons, lost to the Niners, Cowboys, Chiefs, beat the Panthers, lost to the Bucks. They got the Raiders, Lions, Chargers, Broncos, Saints, then the Giants. Then they do have the Jets. Yeah, I mean, it's damn.
That beginning
Giants,
5
Jets,
was rough.
Washington, Giants, Washington, Cowboys. I mean, they could. I don't know if I like Jalen Hurts though, to be honest with you.
I don't think I like him either, but I think like they've I don't know. They have better receiving than they've had in the past. And I think that's the difference because they had so many guys dropping balls for them. And to adding Rieger and the other guy from Alabama, what's his name? But yeah, I mean they've upgraded their receiving core, and I think that helps out a lot for Hurts.
It'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. I mean, huge week next week. Saints and Seahawks, has huge playoff implications right there. Let's go up to the AFC, and then I really want to start looking into week by week. Not really week by week, but just do a week preview because it's going to get hot and heavy real quick in the NFL. Bills 4-1, Ravens 5-1, and then you've got the Kansas City Chiefs at 3-3, and everyone expects them to crawl back, right? The Chargers are looking pretty good. You expect the Titans to obviously be there. I think the Titans are going to win the AFC South. The Bengals are 4-2. You got a lot of teams in the AFC, and we're going to start seeing clarity in 2 or 3 weeks. But for right now, it's a little jumbled up at the top. What are you seeing in the AFC, Amit?
I mean, to me, it's there's like it's the Ravens, it's the Bills. You know, the Chargers are leading the division, but you know, we all know like there's some reservation in them being that good. Kansas City, obviously, but they're shown a lot of weakness this season, and it really comes down to
Tyrann Mathieu just broke his thumb, by the way.
Who did?
Tyrann Mathieu.
Did he? Okay, well that guy's always hurt anyway, so he can play with a broken thumb, I guess. I don't know. But you know, to me, I think it's the Bills and the Ravens. Those are the teams that I look at and I go, because I think Lamar Jackson showed progression every season in terms of him throwing the ball and choosing his spots to run, and the play calling has been more intricate. Same with Josh Allen. Obviously, it's gotten more intricate with him, and he went from just a runner the first year as a rookie, and then to just an elite passer since then. I think last year the Bills, they suffered because their defense wasn't as good the previous year. This year it's kind of in between those 2 years. So we'll see if it's like a bend don't break, kind of like Kansas City, where it's like a bend don't break, and like let's see if Patrick Mahomes can save us in the end. But you know, and obviously, I mean, those are the 3 teams I'm looking at. Like, I'm not worried about the Chargers in the long run. If they make it to the Super Bowl, I mean, we'll see, right? But it's
not with their ground defense.
Exactly. So it's Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, and those are the teams. Those are the dominant teams in the AFC.
Do you agree, Jay?
Yeah, just about. This is a question for you guys and everybody watching. Lamar is having another great season. He's having similar stats to his MVP season. Do you think Kyler is still beating him in the MVP race, or do you have Lamar as a close second?
I gotta give it to the team that's 6-0 right now, and Kyler.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I would put Lamar third behind Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen's balling out. Yeah, I agree with Amit. The Bills and Ravens are balling out right now. The AFC North is interesting. I mean, fuck the Steelers, but shout out to Joe Burrow. He's balling out. Like I'm a big Joe Burrow fan. But
I could
everything that. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Lamar is really making Lamar's doing really good at what he has with Baltimore right now, like all the injuries that they're going through right now, and he's still pulling out the wins. So he's definitely progressing in my eyes. And to go to like JV's comment a little while ago, I think like the best teams right now, you would have to list Cardinals, Bills, Ravens, Bucks, Cowboys, Green Bay. I think that's probably the best way to rank it. But
yeah, the AFC is just, it's a lot of fun right now. Obviously Buffalo, obviously Baltimore. The Titans are obviously going to be there. I think they're just gonna, by default, winning the South. You have a three team run here between the Chargers, Raiders, and Chiefs. Raiders getting rid of John Gruden, Chargers not being able to stop anybody on the ground. And then Cleveland, you know, when you get Chubb and Kareem Hunt looked like he hurt himself also, by the way, at the end of the game, grabbing his calf. But if you can have a healthy Chubb and Kareem Hunt, the Browns are going to be right there. Bengals are 4-2. So it's going to come down to a lot. And let's just get into what's going to go on in the schedule next week. Well, first off, who do you guys have for the Monday night game between Tennessee and Buffalo? I'm going to go with Buffalo. Who do you guys have? It's in Tennessee.
I'm going to go Buffalo. Yeah.
So Buffalo right there. So that knocks Tennessee down a little bit, although they should still be able to win the AFC South unless Carson Wentz goes off, which nobody foresees that really happening. Yeah. But week 7, big matchup for Cleveland going against Denver. There's playoff implications right there with a team that's also 3-3, 3-3 teams. Boom, boom at Cleveland. Cleveland needs to bounce back and win that game. That is huge for them. You go 3-4 now. That's not looking good for them. Let's go around the league real quick, and then we'll comment on everything. Washington at Green Bay. I would expect Green Bay to handle that. Kansas City at Tennessee. There's another good game. That's a hella good game. Those are huge for both teams and the whole AFC playoff picture. Atlanta at Miami. Atlanta's going to win that. So you're welcome, Roy. You're definitely going to beat Miami after the garbage that they threw out there this weekend. Jets at New England. Who cares? Panthers at New York. You would expect Panthers to win that game, which keeps them in the conversation week after week. Just keeps them in, even though they lost this week. Cincinnati at Baltimore. Big game right there.
That's a good one.
Big game right there. You would expect Baltimore to come out and win that, but this is why you play the game. Here's a big game for you, Amit, thinking that Philadelphia is going to do it. Philadelphia and Las Vegas. That's huge. I mean, Raiders got to keep it up. They got to go 5-2. You go 2-5, Philly. You can almost kiss the playoffs goodbye, because then you're talking about only having 2 losses the rest of the year, right? And having to go 9-2 to make the playoffs. Oh, shit. Lions at the Rams.
Let's go, Detroit.
But we play Houston. Yeah, why not? Why not? Jared Goff going off, returning back, throwing for 5 touchdowns, right?
Let's go.
Why not? DeAndre Swift, 162. Who says no? But against Aaron Donald, probably not. Obviously, we play the Texans. Here's a big game. Playoff implications. Chicago at Tampa. What do you think, JV? Do you think you guys can pull it off against Tampa? Like, I do like what the Bears are putting out there. They just don't know how to do it yet. They don't know how to close it out yet. You know what I mean? And then Indy at San Francisco. Huge playoff implications. If Indianapolis wants a chance to win the AFC South, you got to beat San Francisco.
Jimmy G will be back, right?
What's that? Jimmy G will be back. We don't know.
That's the big question mark on that game, because if he's back, it changes the whole dynamic. If it's Trey Lance again and he's going up against the Colts defense, which is a pretty good defense, it's not going to be good.
Check what JV just said. We beat Tampa last year, so I remember that. Remember that Tom Brady looking over, going four, the fourth down. Yeah, but then right after that loss, they picked it right up, and that's how they went on their championship run. But I mean, if Kansas City beats Tennessee and Indianapolis beats San Francisco, the AFC South is suddenly wide open again. Yeah, and if San Francisco loses and goes 2-5, 2-4. That's hot garbage. And then the Saints close it out at Seattle Monday Night Football. So the Saints at the Seahawks, that's playoff implications. We're going to get a real good picture of what the playoffs are going to look like after next week. But every week, dude, every week something good is coming up. Amit, any final words on the NFL before we go on to some Phoenix Suns stuff?
I mean, it's fun, man. It is fun. When your team is 6-0 and you're the only undefeated team, it's just, my son was wearing his Cardinals shirt at his birthday party today.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm going to go in with some Cardinals stuff at work tomorrow. Like, it's fun, man, because nobody can say anything, especially when you live in LA and the Rams are 5-1, but we just curb stomped them 3 weeks ago. It's just like, whatever, man. Let's see. We got one more game. You guys are coming to our stadium. We'll see how that goes. But, it's great. It's great.
Facts. Real quick before I toss it to Jay, I just wanted to throw in here. The Rams played the Giants, right? At the Giants just now. Mm-hmm. They play the Lions at home, right? Next week. The week after that, they're at Houston.
Who the fuck put together this schedule?
I just wanted to throw that. What's the rest of their schedule? So let's see. Home Lions, at Texans, and then home to the Titans. Thank God. At the Niners, at the Packers, home to the Jags, at the Cardinals, home to the Seahawks, at the Vikings, at the Ravens, home to the Niners. So they got a tough schedule coming up for sure. So this is their easy part. They need to stack up those wins. Jay, any final thoughts on the NFL right now?
The NFL is crazy right now. There's like whoever put together the scheduling for these games for the most part did a really good job. Like, there's so many great games and the competition is relatively even and there's upsets every week. So it's giving me a lot of college football vibes right now. And our Arizona Cardinals 6-0 and we're balling out. And did you guys want to talk about Zach Ertz a little bit before we go to the Suns stuff and what Zach can?
I mean, yeah, we can. I just think he's going to add such an element for the Phoenix Suns.
Because I don't think we had do we even have one tight end target this game? I don't think we did, and it didn't even matter.
I'll look.
Take a look. I don't think we did, and it didn't really matter in this game because Rondale Moore, you could just kind of fit him in anywhere. But having a weapon like that, I think is really going to help with this air raid, dude. I think it's going to make a difference to have somebody like that. Because you see what it does for like with having Mahomes having what's the guy's name? Kelsey, right? Like, it just makes a difference to have that just pressure.
Daryl Daniels had one.
Okay, one. Yeah, and I don't even know who that guy is. So, I mean, I think it's going to make a difference. I think it's going to add it's going to be more, our offense is going to be more dynamic with that. So,
especially in the red zone.
Yeah.
Having a 6'5" tight end. Yeah, absolutely. In the red zone, that's going to help out. If you can get a corner switched off on him as opposed to having Christian Kirk or Rondale Moore. I mean, who's a burner, obviously, but you put a 6'5" dude on a cornerback, like it's over.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Like that Zach Ertz thing was such a surprise because I just like woke up, got ready for work, and I look at my phone and Steve Keim just had another steal, and I tweeted that, and Steve Keim liked my tweet. But like this is a huge like move. Like shout out to Steve Keim in the front office for putting that together because like this like I think Philly wanted to do Zach Ertz a favor. They didn't want to waste the rest of his prime away and stuff. Yeah, he's a little bit old, on the older side, but when you're dealing with tight ends, you know, you're not necessarily looking for speed. You're just looking for mobility, and Zach Ertz has that, and he has a great catching ability. And I think we can mold him into a blocker if we wanted to. He's huge. Like if he can buy Kyler another second or two, like that means $1 million. So signing or just getting Zach is such a plus. And Zach looks so impressed on the sideline watching us like play. Like they kept on panning the camera to him, and he was like just flabbergasted like watching us play.
Red.
Yeah, exactly. He looks great in Cardinal Red, and Kyler went up to him at the end of the game, and they were chatting it up, and Kyler was smiling, and Zach was too. So this is going to be dangerous. So rest of the NFL, watch out.
I mean, from a perspective about also just bringing in another veteran who has won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Right? In the NFC too. So just another guy that knows what to do, that gets their job done. And I'm not surprised that we traded for him because there were so many rumblings that we were going to trade Jordan Hicks for him in the offseason. Like, thank God we didn't, right?
Yeah.
And that just worked out to be able to keep both players and only give up, what, a 5th round pick, if I'm not mistaken? Dude,
yeah,
sign me up.
It was a 5th round pick and not Marco Wilson. Tay
Gowan.
Yeah.
I was disappointed about Tay Gowan, though we haven't seen him play, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I felt really good about Tay Gowan and where he was going to go with the team, but we got Zach Ertz now. We are all in. One thing I still really, really want, and I'm hoping we can find it maybe on probably there's not really a buyout market or a free agent market right now. Maybe in a trade is another interior lineman. I would love one more dude like that. That would be legit. After that, I can't think of anything else I would want to pick up except for maybe another blocking tight end. Right. And that I could see that move being more realistic, but we're 6-0. We have the Texans next week. We should go 7-0. Everything is right in the world. Hopefully somebody else will get paid by the time when is the deadline? Is it Monday or is it Wednesday?
It's Monday at 3 our time or 3 Arizona time.
Monday at 3. Well, in any case, no, not the Sun Devils. We're not going to talk about the Sun Devils. There we go. Phoenix Suns. In any case, Mikal Bridges signed for 4 years, $90 million, which is basically 22.5. I'm sure there's guarantees in there, and it'll go up and down and fluctuate throughout. But I understand what Flex was saying about how we needed to get Mikal Bridges' deal done first. You need to know how much you really have left to be able to spend for Ayton for the X amount of years that he's coming in. So it makes perfect sense. And it doesn't matter if you wait till the deadline to get it done, man. It doesn't. It got done. He's happy. He's staying. What matters is getting it done. And I've had a little bit of a change of a heart on the Ayton thing, you guys. Like, I do think they do need to sign him. I was like, oh, if we don't sign him, we can, we still have him, restricted free agency, all that stuff. I think it's important just mentally for a guy like DA to get signed. Does that make sense? Now, if it's Mikal or like somebody else, like I'd be like, kind of whatever, play it out, be a professional. But for DA specifically, I think he needs to get signed just to keep his headspace correct.
Yes. Yeah. He's a young man, and he talked about Chris Ball and Devin Booker getting in his face and yelling at him during the game, and he was he handled it right, like the way he talked about it, but you could tell it upset him. He was sensitive about that stuff. So if he's going in this season without a deal and these guys start barking at him, we're gonna see some things that we saw with like Kevin Durant and Draymond Green on the sidelines.
I didn't think of that.
Hold on. I'm late.
He's on fire.
I was waiting for it.
No, that is exactly right. I mean, I'm even gonna add a
Boom shakalaka.
You were absolutely right. Jay, can you piggyback on that a little bit?
Man, that was a great comment. Good shit on it. I didn't even think of that, honestly. But yeah, that does change the perspective a bit. But this Mikal signing was very important. I thought we had to get this done first. Just because Mikal is such a vital piece to our core. Yeah, his numbers aren't too flashy, but he contributes so much to what we have going on over here. As soon as Woj broke the news on Instagram and Twitter, everyone was saying overpaid. But those same people were saying the Michael Porter Jr. thing was a good signing and stuff, and he wasn't overpaid. So I'd rather take Mikal over Porter any day. I don't know if I'm biased or not, but this was a great signing. I think we got him at a steal in a sense of his true potential. This was a stepping stone to the DA deal for sure. Literally, DA and the whole team was just at a restaurant catering to a event, and it was all smiles and stuff. So he's gonna stay, and I feel like the deal would get done either tomorrow or the next day. But Flex, if anybody doesn't follow Flex, follow him. He'll make you feel a lot better about all this, so you're not stressing out. But he seems to know the ins and outs of everything that's going on right now, and he's more than confident that DA is going to sign in the next couple of days.
He's never wavered from that, by the way.
He's been consistent exactly the whole way through. If theoretically, let's say if Mikal went to restricted free agency, what do you think? He's probably in the $25 to $30 million range, or
I thought he was going to be an 18 to 22 mil player. So he's
unrestricted free agency, or just as
restricted. Dude, there's going to be a team out there that wants to throw 30 mil at a player like that, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm just wondering. So I just think it's a great deal. Because I wanted him at 480, but 490 is fine. That's fine, because you're going to pay a top 3-and-D guy $20 million a year. But if he can add the playmaking and the other things that he does in terms of just those championship plays where he's just diving out of bounds and saving the ball, and Chris Paul's going down and
blocking layups from behind.
Yep, exactly. All that sort of stuff, that intangible stuff. You pay. You're paying what he's worth right now, and you actually aren't paying what his potential is. So it's a fucking brilliant deal.
Roy, do you know if that's 3 Eastern, bro? Or what time? Is that 3 Eastern, 3
it's
Valley
6
time?
Eastern. It's 6 Eastern, and then so it's
So that's 4 o'clock my time, 3 o'clock for you. 3 o'clock Valley time. We go on Valley time.
Yeah.
3 o'clock Valley time. So interesting. So we're gonna find out tomorrow. I mean, the thing that is always stuck in the back of my head, no matter what, is DA is not a James Jones guy. He wasn't drafted by him. I don't know what that means. It probably means nothing. It may mean everything. I don't know, but
neither was Mikal, though. Mikal was neither.
You're right. But Mikal bought in a lot faster and he played every single game. He fits the mold. And honestly, it's going to 4 out, 1 in type of basketball where you need those perimeter guys to defend. So it's more important to get guards and stretch players as opposed to defending on the interior nowadays. But with that being said, we're going to have to deal with Jokic for how many years, right? We're going to have to deal with whoever the Lakers buy for however many years. We're going to have to deal with, who is it? Karl Anthony Towns. There are guys we're legitimately going to have to defend for years to come. I mean, we got to be able to compete with Giannis, Embiid and stuff, right? And there's no other player out there right now that we can bring in other than a Karl Anthony Towns, who is now expressing himself and saying he wants to stay in Minnesota and do what Bradley Beal did, do what Devin Booker did, and, do what Kobe did. Kobe's really having an effect on a lot of these players, especially staying with the team that drafted you. Technically, Kobe was traded from Charlotte, but we won't get into that. Man, You know what I just thought we could do? We could do a preview, our very first Phoenix Suns preview. And I pulled up I'll zoom in a little bit more. I pulled up the Denver Nuggets roster.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you guys, they're going to remember that we just swept them, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I could see them coming out on fire and winning. I think we're going to have a little early season trouble, but if we play Phoenix Suns basketball the way we play, this team is not better. You know, Will Barton is now healthy. He played in game 4, hit a few shots, did a few things. Overall, wasn't the difference maker in a game, but he can do stuff. No one's worried about Facu Campazzo. That dude was so annoying. Vlatko Konkar, no one's worried about him. No one's worried about him. PJ Dozer's back. They got Aaron Gordon, who was an absolute no-show in all of the playoffs, like ridiculously a no-show. J. Michael Green did a few things here and there. They signed Jeff Green. Jeff Green is just a Phoenix Suns killer, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but dude, Jeff Green, like if
I know
if the Suns signed him, like everybody's always betting on this guy's potential. I finally bought in when he was with Houston, when they were in the bubble. And I'm like, hey, maybe Jeff
35.
Green's role is to be a small ball 5. Maybe that's why we've been playing him in all these different positions and all these teams. Maybe that's where he belongs. And then he fucking sucked. And I'm like, no, it's just Jeff Green, man. If your team signs him, you should be disappointed.
Yeah, I completely agree. Roy's right. Yeah, one game at a time. Absolutely correct. One game at a time. We're probably not going to lose more than 2 in a row at all this season. But, I mean, Marcus Howard's probably not going to play, but Monte Morris is back and healthy. Michael Porter Jr. is probably healthy now. He had major back issues, and he was really, really limited when he played against us. They really only had Aaron Gordon and Jokic to do anything against us, but Monte Morris is going to be there. Austin Rivers, that's one of the more hot, cold players that we'll see in the league, along with what's dude's name, that Jordan Clarkson for the Jazz. So, I mean, the fact that you bring out all these players, Jamal Murray's not going to be playing, obviously. We beat them 4-0. I mean, this isn't going to be a blowout, but we should be able to win, right, you guys?
I think you're right. I think the mentality of the Nuggets is like, we need to come out here and set a tone for our team going in, because they don't have Jamal Murray. They're trying to get him back at some point, so they need to be in a good seating. And in fact, they played pretty well after he got hurt. I think they went up in the standings from last year. What I'll say is this. This is how you beat this team, is what the Suns did last year. And this is one way you can beat them, and it worked. All you got to do is attack Michael Porter Jr. And that's what the Suns did. Just attack that guy, and you'll win the game. So if that's what the Suns do, we're good.
Yep. And I mean, and I'm looking at all the Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges highlights. I mean, we're not even talking about JaVale McGee against who's their backup center. You know what I mean?
It's Jeff Green.
Exactly. So I think we should be able to win this. I could see us losing it if they come out hot and are pissed off. You know, things happen. Maybe we're going to be on a high. I don't know. It's the opening night, but Roy is right. We're playing chess, not checkers. New season. I'm excited to see the new mindset. The line is Phoenix at -6.5. But real quick, we got some good games Tuesday, by the way. Opening night, we got some Nets and Bucks action. Hello, to start the season off. I love to see that. I would love nothing else than the Nets to come out and beat the Bucks, though, you guys.
Please.
I would love that. I hate the Nets, but I just want to see the Bucks lose. Warriors and Lakers are the next one. Of course, it's not the Suns. It's the Warriors and Lakers. A repeat of the play-in game?
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me? A repeat. That's the game that you come up with. You don't come up with any other game. There's nothing else you can do. You can't do Suns and Clippers.
The NBA wants that team in the Western Conference Finals, those two teams. So they're putting it on Tuesday and telling you, hey, Scott Foster, make sure this is what we want. Make it happen.
Surprised it's not the Lakers and Mavericks then with Luka.
Well, yeah. I think it's just Steph and Clay, and people just love those guys, which they're great. I love them too, but
we should come out and win that game. I'm excited of how it's going to look. If we win by 20-30, but everybody on here listening that's going to listen, you guys on the podcast too, if we win by 20 or 30 or 40 points or something, good God, like pump the fucking brakes. Yeah. One of the reasons I feel like we lost last year, you remember that dude counting money in the stands?
Yep. Oh yeah,
1,
fuck that guy.
2.
He jinxed us.
God, that was awful. That was awful. None of that shit. None of that shit. Be cocky. Don't be a dick. How about that?
Yeah, no, you know what? I jinxed us against the Clippers because after I left game 4, I think it was game 4, where we were chanting Suns in 5. And then what happened? We lost at home the next game, and then we had to come back and win it in 6. So,
I mean, the Suns in 4 guy was so iconic though for a minute, right?
He was great.
Shout out to him.
I mean, dude was getting sucker punched, and the dude he punched had four watches on him, and we were just on a roll. And like, you know what? We deserve to be a little bit cocky after everything that we've been through. But you know what? We've been there before now. Yeah. So let's not be that fan base that everybody hates and gets that bad juju. Have them hate us because we're good, not because we're going to be a douchey fan base like what Seahawks fans or some Niners fans or Dodger fans. Like, right? Let's not do that. As I said, we are going to be back with ASAP Sports Network, all sports, all play, asapsportsnetwork.com. They're on Twitter as well. They are growing, and we're going to be growing with them. We're going to be joined by Jay Ness post game following this. It's going to be a little late for Amit, so I hope Amit can stay up.
It's better for me to do later than earlier.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to talk about Phoenix Suns basketball. We're not going to be doing a lot of post-game pods for the Phoenix Suns because there's just no way we can all do 82 games. We have lives and kids and things just happen. But we're going to bring you as much content as possible. But no matter what, we are officially going to be on TV Wednesday night and Sunday night. So we will for sure be back then. I want to talk to you guys about potentially doing another post-game pod on Friday just because we play the fucking Lakers for no other reason. It's the Lakers. So we can just go on for a half hour, 15 minutes. I don't care. I'd love to go on with you guys. If you guys are down as well, too, that's going to be a later game if I'm not mistaken. But we'll get into that. Either way, the Arizona Cardinals are 6-0 and can potentially go 7-0. What a fucking world we live in. Amit, leave us with some with advice, please.
Yeah. So the spread 17. If you're a betting person, I would not take that bet. I would just stay away from it because it's just one of those things you don't know what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure the Cardinals are going to win that game, but you know the way that this team has been winning, don't expect it to be the way that we think they usually win. Right?
Sure.
So that's it. I mean, I love the Mikal Bridges signing. I think that's great. We need to get DA signed. And I heard that they were talking about Shamet as well, which is interesting, to sign him to an extension at the same time they're talking about Aiden. I don't know if you guys saw the rumors about that.
I did, but I guess I never fully processed that. That's okay. Yeah,
I mean, interesting. Because if you can get him at like $6 to $8 million a year, it's interesting. It's just the whole thing is interesting.
That's a really good point. Real quick, remember how Cam Payne signed for like $6 a year for like 2 or 3 years, and everybody was praising him for taking the hometown discount? Everybody's out here saying DA needs this bag. Give DA the bag.
Yeah.
Like there's no double standard here. What about being like, okay, you're the hometown guy. Why don't you take a hometown discount?
Yeah. He's hometown guy.
Dude, yeah, seriously, we're not going to be able to keep everybody, bro. Yeah. It's going to be really hard to keep everybody. Like, I'll bring up a screenshot. Kevin David.
He puts David Kevin. His name is David Nash.
Oh, okay, David Nash. Yeah. So if you guys have seen, I'll pull it up maybe next podcast. But he put it out of what 5 years from now, what it would look like having Cam Johnson, Mikal DA, and Booker at the Supermax. And we basically have room for like $4 million after that.
Yeah.
Like there's no way we can do it.
This is the thing I've been saying, guys, like the formula with Cam, because he's a starting power forward in the NBA. So he's going to need that starting power forward money. We're talking another 20, 25 million, $30 million a year.
You would replicate it off of Mikal at this point, right?
Right. Exactly. So where does he I don't know how that fits. And so the only way you can make that work is that you sign guys like Shamet to deals, and then you're going to have to puzzle them together to do a trade, right? To make them room for Cam. And like, who's the most valuable guy? Like, would you rather have Shamet or would you have Cam? For me, it's Cam because of his size and versatility, and he's developing a whole nother game. I think Shamet, like his ceiling is maybe like, you know, 6th man of the year. Maybe that's his ceiling. It being like a kind of like a Jamal Crawford sort of like playmaker shooter. But and he's pretty good defensively and he's pretty clutch. But I love where Cam's headed. I love the trajectory for Cam. Like I just,
yeah,
you know, his in-game dunks and everything is just everything about him.
What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, like that Landry Shamet thing is interesting, but I think what James Jones wants to do is really try to. I think James Jones really wants to keep the core as much as possible. I think Shamet will be a key piece in the future in a possible trade, but for right now, I just want him to earn his stripes and ball out. You know, let's just take it one season at a time, and we'll see what we're dealing with in the offseason, because I like the trajectory Cam is on as well. He's progressed a lot the last 2 years, so I can't wait to see him ball out.
Yeah, can't keep everybody, and if you can, you're gonna have to piece together the rest of your roster, which you can do. I mean, the Warriors did it, and you can find veterans like a LaMarcus Aldridge to come in here at cheap rate, right? You can find the Blake Griffin. You can get the expiring contract, but it's going to be tough. And this is why it's going to take so long, because of the position that they are in. They are in a very, very crucial position to where we can contend for the next 5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Or this is going to be a 2 or 3 year thing, and then we're back in rebuild mode. So that's why it's taking so long. If you're going to say bravo to campaign for taking less to come back to Phoenix, stick to your guns and say the same thing for DeAndre Ayton, who had problems staying in games and consistent and hustling and all that stuff that we all know. Granted, anytime we needed him in the bubble, playoffs, he played harder than almost anybody. I mean, he won us game 3 against the Clippers. You know, he won that game for us. So take that for what you will. Words of wisdom, Jay, what do you got for us tonight?
6-0, baby. It feels great. I'm super excited for the Suns. The NBA season just to get started again. Yeah, 3 days. So, and everybody that's watching, I thank you for all the support and likes and stuff. It's great to see everybody coming in. Like every time we're on, our schedule isn't the most consistent, but you know, everybody has, you know, stuff going on in their lives and stuff. So it's kind of hard to fully commit, but we're trying our best. But with all the Arizona pages you guys follow on your Instagrams and Twitter, please promote us if you can. You know, just say like, hey, if you guys want another Arizona opinion, check out this new podcast, and really help us spread our name out there, because you know there's not a lot of YouTube channels and podcasts that cover Arizona sports, and we want to be one of the ones that stick out. So for everybody that's come in every show, thank you, JV and Roy, and everybody else that's pulling through. So shout outs to you guys, and let's look forward to Wednesday and Sunday, or Thursday.
I mean, it really says a lot to Roy and JV and vlogs too, because
and vlogs.
You know, shout out, and they're Falcons and Bears fans, and they're here listening to us, to our chatter, and just supporting us. So, you know, we don't have much of a following. More is definitely coming, but you guys are the GOAT, so we appreciate you. My words of wisdom is: be cocky, don't be a dick.
Yep.
Simple as that. One game at a time, Suns fans, Cardinals fans, No, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there, Herm. We're not going to go there. And I'm really, really hoping Herm Edwards gets fired. Not let go because of recruiting, but gets fired. We'll talk about that another time, because I am pissed about that. Please, you guys, catch us on Apple Podcasts. That's by far our biggest one. Everybody's going to Apple Podcasts to listen to us. So please head over there, or Spotify, and donate on Anchor if you so choose to keep this podcast going. Again, we're going to be on ASAP Network, but we're still going to be here. We're going to be doing everything's going to remain the same. We're just also going to be broadcasting to ASAP Network online. Their Twitter will be on Sling as well too. No, Roy, that's not going to happen. No, Roy, this is great audio content for those listening. Like us, subscribe us, share us out, all that fun stuff. We have gained 2 subscribers since we've been on this podcast. Amit is out like always. His wife is calling, but we really appreciate you guys. And all that really matters is the Cardinals are 6-0. To me, that's all that matters right now. Until Wednesday, when my favorite sport comes back. And the Phoenix Suns, my first passion, my first love comes back. Game 1 against the Nuggets. We're going to be here post-game. Hopefully, we'll be here Friday. We'll catch you guys later.
He's got Ertz sets. Looks up. And